So this is another video request from ADuelGet, and he had requested, I guess, my thoughts on music, what kind of music I like and why, what kind of songs bring back memories, and it's an interesting and very good video suggestion. So I'm gonna fulfill his request and do this. Music has always been a huge influence on me. It comes from my parents. They had a very extensive vinyl collection back in the day, and I always appreciated that. I grew up listening to all kinds of music, and that has been instilled with me from a very early age. It led to me being in band. Starting in the 6th grade, I was in band in high school. I was in the marching band. I was in jazz band. I was in concert band. And then by college, I was in a kind of alternative rock band, I guess, in Austin for about, on and off for about 5 years. What kind of music I like and why? I honestly, and it's a very generic answer, I love all kinds of music. If it awakens any kind of emotion in me, then I'm all about it. It doesn't matter if it's classic, classic rock, in another language. It doesn't matter. If something about it either I can tell is forming a memory, or it awakens an emotion in me, then I will listen to it. I enjoy anything like that. Primarily, I listen to, I guess alternative rock. The two biggest bands that I follow, no matter what they put out, is Pearl Jam. Always a big Pearl Jam fan. And my guilty pleasure that I usually don't admit is Coldplay. I am a big Coldplay fan. Something about their music will calm me down when I am not, I guess, in some sort of negative space, whether it's anger or sadness or anything else like that. Their music will kind of bring me back down on an even level. So for that, I truly appreciate Coldplay. Pearl Jam, I love how they've evolved. I love how they bring back memories, because I'm a big 90s fan. So that's the reason for that. And if you ever look into the history of Pearl Jam and even Eddie Vedder's, a lot of their first album on 10, their first album, a lot of that album is actually autobiographical for Eddie Vedder. And they didn't write that album together. Pearl Jam was looking for a singer. Eddie Vedder heard their music for what would be 10 and wrote those songs without him. Somebody just walked by. But I'll listen to anything, like I said, anything that's gonna either bring back memories, form memories, or awakens an emotion in me. That's what I'm about. The other thing he asked is what kind of songs bring back memories. I'm going to stick to 5, not necessarily a top 5, but just 5 that come to mind, just to keep the list short. There's a movie soundtrack. With the movie had Tyrannosaurus Rex. Not that one. More of a realistic looking dinosaur. Not that one. It was computer generated, CGI, and had actual people in the movie too. Still not that one. Steven Spielberg. There you go. I remember seeing this movie, I'll never forget it, 1993, and obviously anybody that remembers watching the movie for the first time in the theater, very entertaining, very captures your attention. And when it got to this part right here, the trumpet part stood out to me significantly. At the time, oddly enough, I was listening to a lot of like jazz type music, and the trumpet part stuck out to me very significantly. And that was one of the first times that a movie soundtrack, just the music alone, stood out in such a way. So much so that shortly after, maybe a month or so after, my parents were out of town. We're going out of town. They dropped us off with family, and my twin sister and I, my dad gave me $20 just in case we needed it for the weekend. Over that weekend, while we were staying with family, we ended up going to the mall, and I spent that $20 on the CD for the Jurassic Park soundtrack. So that's still, to this day, probably one of my favorite soundtracks. I can listen to it beginning to end, and it brings back all those memories. Another song is Iris by Goo Goo Dolls. That song was huge the summer after I graduated high school, and at the time I was with my high school sweetheart, and we were in love, and everything was fine and dandy. And I just, even now when the song comes on the radio, I can remember him rolling his chair all over the room and singing a song about Iris. And even though that relationship didn't last, and that girl cheated on me and broke my heart, I still think of positive memories and that time frame of being free from high school and starting a new phase of my life. That's primarily what comes to mind when I hear that song. Another song is Picture by Kid Rock with Sheryl Crow. That song came out while we were getting activated and stationed at Fort Hood. And I think there was a time where we were driving, I think going to lunch or something like that. And there's a group of us in the car, and that song came on the radio, and someone flipped the station to try to find something else, and it caught the end of one song, and then that song came on the radio. And it's like you couldn't escape that song, and I knew immediately that that song was always going to remind me of that time at Fort Hood just before we were going to go to Iraq. And that's exactly what happened. Some of that could be because I told myself that's what was going to happen, or some of it could have just been that was just what's going to happen because we heard that song like 3 times in 15 minutes. But that song, as soon as that living my life in a slow hell comes on, that immediately makes me think of that time frame just before going to Iraq. A big song for me and my wife is Zac Brown Band's Whatever It Is. That became our song. It was a song at our wedding, but just when we first started dating, that song, I kept hearing that song, and it always made me think of my wife. And I think the moment that things started clicking and I knew I was going to marry her, I sent her in a text. Every now and then I'd send her random lyrics to a song, and I sent her lyrics to that song in a text. And shortly after that, I sent her the song in a text, and she just became obsessed with that song and the part where it says she's gonna be my wife. And that's, you know, well, and eventually we became engaged and got married, and that song just means something to us. So it definitely speaks to me on certain levels, and makes me think of my wife. And so that is one of my favorite songs and brings back memories. The last song I'm going to talk about is actually from a band that I'm not very fond of. For whatever reason, although I grew up listening to them, something about them brings back negative memories. So I probably one of the only people on the planet that does not like the Eagles, especially Hotel California. I cannot stand that song, but it brings back memories now, and it's kind of an ongoing joke with my co-driver that I had overseas. And there was a time where we were, let's just say we were stuck in the middle of nowhere and had nothing to do but to stick it out with our truck and our equipment and wait out for help. And through the night, while we were talking, we could hear music playing. And lo and behold, even halfway around the world, in Iraq, in a war zone, somebody somewhere is playing the Eagles. And that's the ongoing joke, is even around halfway around the world, some Iraqi somewhere is jamming out to the Eagles. And you just can't escape the Eagles, apparently. Those are some of the songs that bring back some memories. The other thing I wanted to kind of throw in this video is how I pick music for my episodes. A lot of them are, as you know, anybody that's followed me for a while can tell I use a lot of Ronald Jenkees music. I found him on YouTube years and years ago, when I was, for whatever reason, looking for remixes of Canon, and I found his channel. He had done a remix of it. That led me to watching some of his other videos, and then when I heard or watched him, part of the joy of his channel was watching him play his songs. And when I watched him and heard Disorganized Fun, I was sold. And he doesn't really post on YouTube much anymore. He does have 5 albums out now, and I pay fees each time to use his music in my videos, and I certainly don't mind doing that when I can afford to do that, because I believe in his music. I enjoy his music, and I believe that his music gives my videos a little bit of a different feel, and I enjoy being kind of unique that way and supporting him in his efforts of making music. And you can just purely tell that he enjoys it. So he doesn't post on YouTube anymore. There's always links to in my descriptions to my videos when I use his music to check him out. He also has you can check him out on Pandora, Bandcamp, sites like that. He's on iTunes, so I definitely recommend checking him out. When I don't use his music, I use music from SoundCloud. I usually search through SoundCloud under the Creative Commons group and try to find people that have made their songs under that category downloadable, because even though you can kind of still get the music other ways, if they didn't put a download link, I'm usually not comfortable using their music. But if they're under Creative Commons and they have download links. I use their music. I try to find people that maybe have had a song on SoundCloud for a couple years and have a few hundred listens. Those are the people that I enjoy. I like finding people that deserve more recognition or more attention than they're getting. And so I'll try to use music like that. I also have it in my description, and I 100% mean it. If you are a musician, if you have music and you want somebody to use your music to get more attention, by all means let me know. Send me a DM, whatever, because I mean that 100%. I love using music in that way in my videos. That's part of the beauty of making videos and being able to use people's music. And if you're gonna give me that permission, I will support you 100%. And it doesn't matter what kind of song it is, what kind of music it is, I will find a way to use it, I promise you. Hopefully I didn't create more questions and answers. I do appreciate the suggestion. Check out ADG or ADuelGet. Check out ADuelGet. He has 3 channels on VidMe. He's also on YouTube. I highly recommend him. He's very entertaining, and I appreciate the suggestion. Any other requests like this that other people might have, you want me to see, you want to see something different from me, something like this, let me know. I will more than likely do it. I appreciate any suggestions or anything that people want to get to know more about me. I truly appreciate that. So I will follow up with you and I'll do it. I think that's it. I didn't have a huge opportunity to do this today. I'm at work. I kind of had to sneak in someone's office that isn't here today to try to knock this out real quick. Sorry if try to make it entertaining, but it was sorry if it came across a little rushed. Just that I wanted to do this, and this was one of my only opportunities to make the video. Any other questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the question, or any other questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate anybody that takes the time to watch my videos. Follow me here on VidMe, and stay Messiah, my friends.